And when someone tells you not to scream, scream anyway.
Scream anyway. And that's what I want women to feel confident in. You don't have to stop and reload. I love these because I can hear people talk at the same time I'm shooting. Karla says I'm like this sniper. I'm not. Don't be intimidated by this.
Pew, pew, pew.
Just the basic skills with firearms and also, too, with self-defense.
Yeah, and you should be doing that at any time you're getting out of a
gas
car.
station, grocery
Anywhere.
store.
Yeah, we're going to really kind of learn to regulate our mood.
We are doing the class with you, ladies. Safety goggles, I think I'll just keep them on for the rest of the episode. This is going to be inclusive to women. I guarantee you these guys can teach you some stuff that you've not learned yet. Cannot wait. It's going to be so exciting.
Hey there, welcome to the Mental Perk Podcast. I'm Karla Hutcherson, licensed professional counselor.
And I'm Brandi Mock, entrepreneur, author, and community leader. And we're here to talk about real people, real issues, and real talk.
Welcome back to the Mental Perk. Brandi and I are here today, and we have this upcoming event. Brandi, What's it called?
Unstoppable.
So this is a women's gun training, self-defense, mental resilience, all of those amazing things all tied up in one. And it is coming up on May 17th. So we thought we would talk a little bit about the impacts of women and self-defense.
Yes.
So we really wanted to highlight some points. So little Annie Oakley over here, she is really good with a gun.
Little Annie Oakley.
She's super good with a gun. I am not as good at my gun skills, so I'm really hoping that I get a lot out of this training and then I can, beat her on the target someday. Probably not anytime soon, but we'll try. But, Brandi and I are kind of competitive. So at some point, we're going to have a shoot-off, I think. Don't you
I don't
think?
know if it'll be a shoot-off. I think I'd rather take you on physically.
Oh, because I'm Kung Fu Panda, so I already know.
She knows how to roll.
Oh my gosh! But no, it's going to be such a fun day. But we really wanted to highlight some things about women and self-defense because it can be kind of intimidating. So, Brandi, what point in your life did you really take this serious and really start looking into it?
I think honestly, when I had children, because when you have kids, you're not focused on protecting yourself as much as you are your kids. And, for a lot of that, I was a single mom.
Yeah.
And so...
Well, single mom of two daughters.
Right.
Yeah.
So, I want to know how to take care of my kids. So when Priscilla, my oldest one, was younger, I took her to do some self-defense classes. And you could tell that it just... her knowing some moves made her feel better. Now, she was super young. She's like maybe 5 or 6, maybe. But I still wanted her to feel that. And I think the biggest thing is just women and girls in general, they need to figure out how to find their voice whenever they're feeling like they're in an unsafe space.
Absolutely.
And not feel like they are overreacting. Whatever. It's okay. I'd rather you overreact than underreact and get taken or something happen to you, right?
Yeah. And when someone tells you not to scream, scream anyway.
Scream anyway, because the worst you're going to look like is a fool, and you're not going to care. I mean, you're trying to save your life, maybe, right?
Exactly, 100%.
So that's when I got into it, and then I got into boxing, a lot of heavy boxing, and then I did some MMA training, not like at a high level,
right?
But I had a guy that was familiar with MMA training,
right,
and did quite a bit of classes with him on, how to get out of situations on the ground if someone came up and grabbed you. Now, let me tell you, this is like any other thing you do. It's like playing golf. If you don't play golf a lot, you're going to lose a skill. It takes a while to refresh.
It's not like riding a bike.
It's not like riding a bike, right?
Forget how to ride a bike,
right? Well, I'm sure I could forget how to ride a bike. But yeah, it's a lot of that. And I think the most important thing about what we're talking about today is you ladies are seeing a lot of snippet videos of what to expect with this course. And today, that's what I want to go over with you guys, Karla and I do, what you're going to expect from the physical standpoint, from the firearm standpoint, and then also, too, from the mental health resilience part of it.
100%. Because we're going to be doing a lot of that, really understanding, the impact of our mental health and our ability to use these skills that you're learning, but also using these skills and the amount of confidence that you're going to have.
That's the game changer, because you can have all these skills all day long. But if you don't know how to utilize these skills, you don't know when to react on them, they're pretty much pointless.
I was reading something about people after they take a class like this, that you can see the confidence just in their posture and the way they present themselves in a public setting.
Right.
Like you can oh, that girl's confident. She's had some training,
Right.
you know? So
Right.
it's pretty obvious, just like the change you're going to see from the morning to the afternoon.
Oh, I can't wait.
I know.
Because
It's going to be
that,
so cool.
That is the one thing, Karla. I know you've seen this just in comments, and I've had phone calls, and they're like, Brandi, will you go to the range with me first and shoot? I'm like, no. And I'm not saying that to be, I'm just saying you're going to get everything and more. I'm not an expert on this.
Yeah.
I'm like you. I'm going to go to the range, and I'm probably going to be off target, right?
Yeah.
But I'm very familiar with now just the basic stuff.
Yeah.
And that's what I want women to feel confident in, is knowing that they're going to be confident in just the basic skills with firearms, and also too with self-defense, because there's a lot of things you can do physically with self-defense. I love Brian Ulch is one of our instructors.
Yes.
He's going to be our physical instructor.
Such a sweet guy.
And Marcos, and then we've got Justin. They're going to be doing the firearms, and I'm sure they're going to have more gentlemen out there. But, you know, the biggest thing that I like Brian talking about is you want to feel like you can get out of any situation, and sometimes people think that it's got to be so structured and rehearsed on how you respond that sometimes just that crazy face can scare someone away, right?
Yeah.
So, and I, you know, I was thinking the other day, like, there are certain parts of town you can go to a gas station, and let's say you don't have a gun, you got a gas pump.
Well, exactly, you do. And so you have to think about all the things around you when you're getting out of a car. But on top of that, an attacker is going to sense fear, right? And if you are exuding fear, you're more likely to get targeted.
Right.
But if you're exuding confidence, they're more likely to pass you over.
Well, I had a situation happen to me one time at a gas station, and you can tell these guys were used to doing it, but there's like 3 of them that came up and surrounded my car while I was pumping gas. And I think it was because of the mood I was in that day. Otherwise, I don't know that I would have. I looked at them with the craziest eyes, and I said, not today, guys. Like, not back off, because I will go crazy in 2.2 seconds, right?
Yeah.
And the guy was like, all right. But you could see all 3 of them. And that's the one thing that Brian's going to teach us. And also Marcos and Justin is being aware of your surroundings.
Of course.
Because that is such a huge thing.
Yeah, and you should be doing that at any time you're getting out of a
Gas
car.
station, grocery
Anywhere.
store,
Yes.
shopping for clothes,
Yes.
sporting events, exit strategies.
Yeah.
I mean, there are so many things that you need to be aware of. And it sounds like, you know, gosh, do I have to live in fear? No, it's not a fear. It's
Right.
awareness. It's just being aware.
It's living in awareness.
Right.
Even like pulling in my garage, I look around.
I do
want
too.
to know to see, can someone slip in my garage?
I watch my garage door go down.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
It's crazy. But yeah, I mean, that's what you have to do. You have to live in awareness,
You do.
not fear.
That's it.
So what do you think, what's one thing that you think women misunderstand about self-defense?
I think, well, self-defense, I think sometimes they think it as being more aggression. And I'm like, it's not aggression. It can be used for aggression, right? But anything can.
Right.
So I think women maybe self-doubt. I think that's the biggest thing, is they doubt their capability of being able to defend themselves physically.
Yeah.
And I think that's their biggest thing. So there's that hesitation.
Yeah.
And that's what this class is going to teach us is, and Brian, I know he's going to do such a fantastic job, is don't hesitate. If you feel like someone's in a certain, and here's the deal, you gauge your space.
Yeah.
Like if you're here right here with me and we're in confrontation and I feel like you're getting more aggressive, I'm going to tell you, hey, you're in my space, you need to back off.
Right.
Once I've given you that warning to say you're in my space, I feel like my safety is being hindered, you know, that's whenever they should know.
That's open
You come
game.
any closer,
Yeah.
it's not going to be pretty.
Yeah. So I think a lot of women are worried about, am I physically fit enough to do this class?
Yeah, I've gone over this with a video. So here's the deal. Life is not about perfection. It's about being able to utilize what you have. So if you don't feel like you're in shape, you don't have to be in shape. I mean, if you're in a situation where you're being attacked or something, you're not thinking about, did I lift weights today? You're thinking about getting yourself out of that situation. So this is a course for anybody and everybody. Doesn't matter what your physical status is.
Correct. You do not have to be a bodybuilder to do this. Yeah.
No. In fact, you'll find that crazy comes in all different shapes and sizes.
Oh, I know. You can see the smallest, littlest petite women. They'll take you down.
They will take you down with a smile on their face.
Yeah,
you know?
exactly. So if you are, and I know you have your license to carry, right?
I do not have my license to carry, but you don't need it in the state of Texas.
You don't need
right?
it in the state of Texas.
But I will tell you, they're going to be going over very specific laws that apply to us in the state of Texas as far as firearms go.
Absolutely. But because you do carry from time to time, there's going to be times when you can't.
Right.
What are some tools that you kind of always have with you or that you think about if you don't have your gun with you?
Mace.
Yeah.
Now they've got these really cool firearms that look like firearms, but they shoot out rubber bullets. So that's another thing that you can take on. You can have your keys in between your knuckles.
Yep, that was one.
They've got stun guns now out for women. Now I'm because I went through the college thing with my daughter about, and the first class I went to was the safety class for my kid, right? And it was very interesting because when I learned about the mace, the officer gave a scenario of a girl that was in a study with a kid, got to know this kid over the semester, trusted him, he wanted to do like a study session for exams coming up. He got in her vehicle. He started getting way too aggressive with her. She wasn't sure what to do. She had her mace, but she'd never used it and had been sitting there for God knows how long. When she got ready to use it, it did not dispense the mace. And it's because she wasn't. And also, too, the officer made a very good point. Usually, depending on how far out it shoots, you have to be somewhat close, right?
Yeah, you have to.
Your goal is to try to get away from the perpetrator.
Right.
So there's some pros and cons to certain things, weapons you'll try to use. Your ultimate goal is to get out of the situation if you
100%. Don't be, like anything you can do for them not to get you into a car, right? That's the worst thing. So you want to make sure you fight like heck.
I've raised my girls leave DNA.
Yeah.
And that's horrible because I don't know about you, but we were raised comply. Right. We've learned comply could cost you your life.
Yes.
So the fact is even if you're complying and if you're not complying, you could still lose your life. So I'm going to fight like hell to get out of the situation.
100%.
And I'm going to do it in a manner that shows, I may be dying on the inside scared, but I'm not going to let him know that I'm scared.
No. And you can't.
You can't.
Again, they feed on fear.
They feed on fear.
100%. But I was thinking another tool, and I'm usually in high heels of some sort.
Yeah.
High heel is
that heel can do some damage.
It can do a lot of damage.
It can do some damage. Rings.
Yes.
Big rings on your hands can do some damage.
Yes.
There's certain positions and certain holds that we're going to learn with Brian that'll get you out of a situation pretty quick.
Yeah.
Which I'm excited about. That's the most exciting thing is, the thing about this course that we're going to be taking is it's not just your normal course. This is like an a la carte course. It's you're getting firearms instructions and you're also getting physical and you're getting mental health resilience. So you're getting so much information in one class that most people would have to take one class, come back and do another class, come back and do another class. So these are from 9 o'clock till about 5:30. We're going to be working on this.
Oh, it's so fun. And it's such an interactive class. It's going to be, we're going to be laughing and, doing all of these very serious things, but it's going to be done in such a fun way. And these guys have such great personalities.
They do. I'm so excited.
Yeah, they're going to be so, so fun. Thinking back as a young woman, I don't feel I had the strength and confidence to, handle a situation with everything I have. I feel like as an adult woman or an older adult woman that I am able to fight that fight. What message would you tell your younger self? Or were you a feisty little?
I was a feisty little thing.
Okay.
Yeah, nothing really. I was feisty, I think, because I felt like I had to be. And I think a lot of that comes from, hello, counselor, the upbringing you have, right?
I think so,
So
too.
I think for me, I've always been a feisty little thing, but I think, your girls, the next generation may not be as feisty as you are. My girls are not as feisty as I am.
Right.
They can be, but they just don't generally, they're not.
I kind of feel like it's, I was such a people pleaser. And I feel
I was too.
That's what, I feel like in my younger years, I would have thought like, well, what if I hurt this person? Well, they're going to hurt me, right?
Well,
so know what I'm saying?
That's what you just said is key, because whether you're carrying a firearms or you're physically defending yourself and mentally, you need to know what confidence it's going to take to defend yourself.
Yes.
And there's always that gray area. And so I think we're going to learn a lot about from these guys on, how and when and where. And again, at the end of the day, if you felt like your life was being threatened in somehow and you felt like you needed to physically defend yourself, that's what courts are for.
And, violence against women is up. And so random act of violence, it's like 1 in 5 women are going to have some sort of situation in their life, And so the statistics for knowing your perpetrator are much higher than that even. So, I think that as much as we don't want to think about ourselves ever being in that situation, it's like, wouldn't you rather be prepared?
Oh, for sure.
And rather than to think like, I don't know if I can handle that. Just knowing that you can handle that can change everything.
How many movies have you seen where the woman was a victim of violence in some sort, and it took her becoming a victim of violence for her to go take action and learn how to defend herself? Yeah. It was being reactive instead of proactive.
Exactly.
And so the goal of this course is to be proactive and to avoid, 100%. Getting put in a situation, if you're put in that situation, being prepared for it.
What's an empowering message that you think women want to hear?
Here's the deal. I have a lot of women, I don't feel comfortable with firearms and stuff. But either way, you're going to walk out of this thing feeling empowered, whether it's with a firearm or whether it's physically or whether it's mentally. And that's what I want you to walk away with. I want you to walk away with a sisterhood of getting to know new people that you didn't know, but also, too, knowing that you are able to walk away feeling like you've got confidence in protecting yourself in some shape, form, or fashion.
Yeah. We're all going to be faced in some situation where even if there's not an actual threat, we will feel threatened in some way.
And again, I've had a situation to where there was an owner of a station, a gas station, getting attacked by 2 men. And Karla, I don't know what went over me, but he was a little guy. He had blood coming over him. I just jumped out of the vehicle and just tackled the guys and said, get off of him. Yeah. Get off of him. So it's not just for you. You may be jumping into a situation where you're able to protect someone else, like an elderly or a young child.
Yes.
Or a college student.
Yes.
Or your own friend.
Yes.
So it's just good knowledge to have to be able to put those things in motion in case you need them.
I totally agree with that. I feel like these are things, I would call them life skills. There's so many things in our lives that we build skills for just to manage life. I think this is one of them.
Yeah, it is, for sure.
So I don't think it's just something that randomly people should take. I think it's something everybody should know, right? And if I had my choice, every woman on a college campus would have been trained.
For sure.
Yeah, so I feel like, we are passionate about, women being empowered, having courage, having the strength they need to get through any tough situation, because all of that applies to your mental health.
Well, and here's another thing. It does. And, you got to think about women that may be, stuck in a domestic situation at home. And as well as I do, counseling those women, they have very little confidence. Yes. They're so hard on themselves. They're blaming themselves all the time. But if you're able to give them this little tinge of strength,
that I can get out of something.
I can get out of the situation, and I'm no longer going to be that person that's being beat down.
Yes.
It's so empowering.
I agree.
So empowering, and that's what I hope these ladies get.
And I understand that some people are very scared of firearms, or they just are against using them. That is okay. This class is still for you.
It's for you. And a lot of people are like, I don't have firearms. Here's the deal. And I tell people, if you take this class, you want to have a firearm. And the reason why I say that is you need to get used to holding your own firearm. You need to get used to how it's going to recoil. You need to get used to how to load the gun, how to carry it. All those things you need to be familiar with. You need to make sure that when you're getting ready to take this class, you have the confidence after you leave it. So I tell people all the time, like, what do I get? Go to any sporting goods store and talk to them. You'll be able to hold different firearms to see what the feel is, the weight. That means the size. And Ray's, I go to Ray's. I'm going to give a shout out to Ray's in Dallas. Singleton and Sylvan. I get all my firearms from Ray's, and they have everything you can imagine to protect yourself, from mace, bear spray, stun guns. They've got it all.
It, I lift weights. I'm a very strong person. My hands are not strong, right? And so I had to really be specific when my husband wanted me to get a firearm. We had to really go try ones that not only that fit in my hand, but also that my hands were capable of using.
Right.
So that's why it's what Brandy's saying is so important, because you have to have that feel for it, because some guns are way heavier than others. And so you have to make sure you find one that actually fits into your hand and that is actually usable.
And I've got some firearms that are heavier than others.
Yes.
And I've got some that are my favorite and some that aren't.
Yes.
I'll bring all of mine on the 17th.
Yeah.
Because they're all going to shoot different too.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
So that's super important. So it's very important, you ladies, to make sure you have a firearm when you come. If you don't, and you just want to be there and you want to observe firearm shooting to get that extra confident, that's great. We still want you there because you'll be able to get the physical
100%.
defense.
And you can just watch that part. If that's not your thing, you're still going to participate. You're still going to learn so much.
Right.
Because you're going to learn how to not be scared of being around firearms.
Right.
Yeah.
So let's go over some things, Karla, real quick that women need to know on what to wear, what to carry, that kind of stuff. So requirements for the course is a handgun. They recommend bringing 3 magazines. And let me show you. I'm going to show you guys real quick. I'm going to get away from the deal so you can see it in the camera. But your magazines, in case you don't know, are this right here. Okay? These are your magazines that you're going to want. So you're going to want to make sure you've got 3 of these. And the reason why I say this is because when you're getting ready to go to the course you're shooting, you don't have to stop and reload. So it's important to have 3 of these. If you don't have 3 of them, you've got one, great, come on. We'll show you how to reload them real easy, okay? So that's a big thing. You also want to have a holster here to hold your gun. So you can put it on your belt and you can get used to taking the firearm out, aiming and shooting, okay? You're going to want some noise canceling ear protection. These right here, I got on Amazon. They're great. I've got 3 sets of them. You can either use these or you can use the simple earplugs, the little orange earplugs that people wear at the airports, that kind of stuff, okay? So you can have one or the other. I love these because I can hear people talk at the same time I'm shooting. It's not just banging in my ear. So these are really good. You want safety goggles? So my Coolio safety goggles, I think I'll just keep them on for the rest of the episode.
Oh, she looks adorable.
So you want safety goggles because when you're shooting, you got ammunition that's going to come back. And so you want to make sure your eyes are protected from anything that recoils back.
Yeah, or sunglasses, okay.
Sunglasses are fine. They'll work. Sunglasses are fine. Anything that's going to just protect your eyes, okay? You'll see a lot of cool people wear their
that will
cool
be
glasses.
me.
She'll be wearing her
I'll be
cool
wearing
glasses.
mine.
You also, too, want to make sure that you have closed-toe shoes.
Yes.
Because obviously we're going to be doing self-defense. We're going to be doing firearms. We're going to be doing some running around techniques. So you want to make sure you've got tennis shoes on.
Wear your sneakers.
Wear your sneakers. Make sure you've got either, I'm not going to wear jeans. I'm either going to wear some cargo, like jeans, cargo pants
leggings.
or some leggings, something I can move around in. I would recommend wearing a shirt that's kind of close to your collar because when you're shooting,
the things can go down your shirt.
And
they're hot.
The ammunition can go down your shirt, and they are hot. So they recommend you wearing a hat and long sleeve breathable shirt. Depending on the heat, I may be wearing a short sleeve. I may wear a long sleeve and have a short sleeve under
and
it.
We're going to be out in the sunshine. So they have those sun shirts. You can get them at any, sports store.
Yep.
But they have the long sleeve that are lightweight and they breathe, but they have that sun protection in them as well.
So, and then also 200 rounds of ammunition. That's what they're recommending you bring with you.
Yeah.
And here's the deal. People are like, I got to bring my own ammo and pay. I'm like, listen, when you go to a gun range, you're having to bring your own ammo or you purchase the ammo there and, you're still paying for it. So these are all important things to make sure you have the day of the event.
Yeah, definitely. Again, if you're not up for the gun part, please still sign up. We can do all of the other parts that are going to be so neat, and you'll also still get that familiarity being around guns, and it'll make you less anxious about it.
So tell us from a mental health standpoint, what are you going to give us, Karla?
Oh gosh, there's going to be so much. I'm going to do some fun activities. We're going to really kind of learn to regulate our mood. We're going to learn different things that we can do to help lift our mood when we're really struggling. We're going to really talk about just self-confidence, how to carry ourselves. There's going to be so much that's going to be within that part, and it's all going to be woven in to the activities.
Sprinkled within the course.
So it's not like you have to sit through a mental health class. That's not what we're doing. It's all going to be kind of activities that we're going to throw in throughout the day.
I cannot wait. It's going to be so exciting.
Some of it might involve a little dancing, so.
Oh, gosh.
Oh,
anyway.
my gosh.
Okay.
But yeah, Brandi needs to get her groove on.
I do.
So it's going to be such an exciting event, and this is just so important. I can't specify how important it is.
It's just so important. It's so, in fact, this is our first one. So this is what's so exciting about it is I've already had men just harping on us. I literally have had so many men harping saying, why can't we do it? I'm like, well, men, you usually are more advanced than we are.
Yeah.
And women, I don't want you to feel like you've got a man watching you that knows more than we do. So this is going to be inclusive to women.
Yeah. And eventually you may feel comfortable being in a co-ed one, and that's awesome. But I think just kind of if you're starting out, I think it's a great way to start. Is
For
just
sure.
being there to support, women supporting women, because that's what we've got to do.
Yeah. So May 17th.
May 17th.
White Right, Texas. It's going to be Alamo Defense is going to be the instructors, which we are so excited. We love those boys. They are top-notch guys that have just really stolen our hearts, I think, because they have such a heart to serve and to protect the civilians and the nation. So these guys really, really touch me. So we're excited about that. It's May 17th from about 9 to 5:30. People are saying that's a whole day deal. Well, listen, what you're paying and what you're getting, I mean, it's crazy.
Amazing.
It's crazy how much opportunity you're going to get out of this one class and not have to pay very much to do it.
Yeah.
So spots are filling up fast. We have, it's a small class. So when I say it's a small class, that means you're going to get more one-on-one attention. We're going to be doing it in phases. So, you'll have a group of women that are going to the range to shoot, and then you'll have women doing physical self-defense, and then Karla and I will be sprinkling in mental health throughout. We are doing the class with you, ladies. So
yes, we are.
That's the biggest thing, is knowing that you're not alone doing this. Mental Perk's going to do it with you. And, Karla says I'm like this sniper. I'm not. I'm
pew, 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 pew.
I'm just probably a little bit more advanced than she is, but not much. So don't be intimidated by this. I'm telling you right now. And here's the thing too. I've had questions with this. Women are like, well, I've already been to the range. I know how to shoot. Well, great. I guarantee you these guys can teach you some stuff that you've not learned yet if you're more advanced. So don't let this be just for the basic course people. This is also for advanced. So if you've got some advanced moves you want to teach Brian or Justin or Marcos, feel free to show them, because I'm sure they're willing to learn.
So those instructors will work individually. If you're more advanced than other people in your group, then they're going to they're going to cater to that. They're going to make sure that they give you some sort of instruction that you can take away from there.
Yes, for sure. They will.
Absolutely. Well, this has been fun. It's going to be a fun day. We're looking forward to it. We can't wait to see you all there. We can't wait for you to spend the day with you and just really focus on women supporting women, empowering women, and making sure you all know
you're worthy. We're in this together.
If you or anyone you know is struggling with mental health issues, please reach out to talk to someone you trust. Get connected to a mental health professional who can help you find ways to cope and ultimately feel better. If you are having suicidal or self-harm thoughts or thoughts of hurting another person, please go to the nearest ER, call 911, or contact the National Suicide Hotline at 988. Thank you for tuning in to Mental Perk. We hope our talk today highlighted real people working through real issues based on mental health. Our goal at Mental Perk is to make sure every one of you knows you're worthy. We're in this together.